welcome back to the show, where you got us, you got the American Adversaries. We are live. 407-774-8255 is the number. I am Christopher Hart, along with John Stemberger. In the crossfire, a little Stevie Ray Vaughan crossfire for you there. Christianity's caught in the crossfire between radical Islam and radical liberals. And thank God for men like John Stemberger and men and women who get out there and fight for the rights of Christians and Americans. John, once again, thanks for being with us. Are you concerned, before we go to the state stuff, are you concerned at all that Christian churches are beginning to acquiesce to this notion of same-sex marriage?
Yeah, look, I mean, here's the deal. Every institution of our society, without question, has now bought into this recent notion that's only been with us since the last nanosecond of human history.
Right.
That human sexuality is not binary, that you don't interpret your sexuality through your organs. Somehow you now subjectively determine it through your sense of gender, your expression, whatever it is.
Right.
And so this just with every institution, even the Boy Scouts in the military, were hanging on until the last couple of years, where they have fully transformed through the conversation as well. So the church, the Christian church, both Catholic and Protestant, to some degree the LDS church, although they are now unfortunately wavering considerably, is the last bastion. I mean, it's the last institution in society that has a view of human sexuality that is sane, that is biologically correct, and that is makes sense in terms of logic, history, tradition, and the common collective wisdom of human history. And so they're working on Christians every day. I mean, we saw Tony Campbell just came out, who's always been a bit squishy in his theology and in his politics, just come out and proclaim that, we should affirm now same-sex couples and all this. Scripture is crystal clear. And if you're a Catholic, the traditions of the church and the magisterium is crystal clear. For Protestants, the Scripture is crystal clear, and certainly the Church Fathers are crystal clear about what marriage is, and it is the union of a man and a woman. This is not something that's optional. It's not something that you can pick and choose your combination of, whatever selections of human beings you'd like, or objects or things, or what. Ultimate conservative institution, and it's the thing which really holds us together as a people. And the left is not interested in that, Chris. They're interested in radicalizing everything,
right,
and every nook and cranny of society, and allowing the state primary focus of our allegiance and our needs.
Well, and that's just it. As I said, it's the goal, the object of socialism and communism is to make the state, the family, is whatever need you have, the state will fulfill it. Not like when we were growing up, if we had needs, even after we moved out of the house, if we had a need, chances are we might have gone back to our parents and asked for a loan or something like that. You kept it in the family because the family made you strong, And you look at the immigrants that come to this country, get strong economically, and the children always do better, and the formula's tried and proven, and that's, once again, like you say, the radical liberals are trying to undercut that, and they're doing it on purpose. And unfortunately, you got a lot of people out there. You mentioned Capolo. David Neff is another one to be editor-in-chief of Christianity Today. He's come out and said, oh, yeah, well, we got to be, for our Christian gay couples, we got to go ahead and marry them and sanctify it. I mean, this is not encouraging. As I said, I hope the Supreme Court doesn't go all the way, but if they do, there will be a huge fight within the church, will there not be, John, over what direction to go from here?
Sure. Well, not only that, there's going to be pressure. I mean, you'll see churches being told you must act as a private club and admit members only. If you don't, then you'll be considered a public accommodation, and you'll have to come under the non-discrimination ordinances for hiring practices and for housing practices for your church. That's the next step here. And churches that use schools as housing, forget it. I mean, you'll be considered a public accommodation just by using that facility, and they will require you. So this is a very serious thing, And for years, I've been trying to get preachers. I mean, I can't even get some churches to pull a lever to save the life of an unborn child
Right.
It's just so sad. Oh, we're not called to politics. Can you imagine in the American Revolution when they said, look, the British are coming, we need to form a militia, and they went right to the churches? Can you imagine the pastor saying, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not called to politics. Luckily, they didn't do that. They took up arms, and they actually put on black robes.
Black Robe Society, yeah.
They said, look, this is our country. We're going to defend it. And I wish pastors and churches would wake up. This is not politics. This is your faith. Your faith is about to be undermined if we don't engage as active citizens and take up this cause. It has more to do with just politics. It has to do with whether or not we're going to be able to confess Christianity in its orthodox manner without being viewed as hostile insurgents in our own country.
Yeah, I believe it was the British who later on said if it were not for the Black Robe Society, the United States would still be a colony of Britain.
That's right.
So, yeah, they've sort of lost focus. Real quickly, the adoption bill here in the state of Florida, I have yet to see anything. Has that even made it to the governor's desk yet? It
has not, and it's perplexing me. Today the governor actually signed into law 55 bill just hours ago. He did sign into law the very good bill, the pro-life bill, which requires a 24-hour waiting period.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, before a woman obtains an abortion, which is great. We now join about other states.
Jennifer Sullivan, right at the road here, right?
Jennifer Sullivan, the rock star. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's signed that one. But why is it taking so long, do you think, for it to make its way to the governor's desk?
Well, the governor knows this bill, and what we're talking about is a bad adoption bill which would leave faith-based adoption agencies at risk of closing down like they have in Massachusetts and Illinois and Washington, D.C.
Right.
So it's a bad bill, and we're encouraging the governor to veto it. But I think that because the governor knows the bill is a priority of both the House and the Senate, that they're not releasing it because he might use it as a bargaining chip in these budgetary matters. That's my opinion now. I don't have any intel here. So there's a lot of political pressure that's coming to bear, and so I think release the bill, and the governor could use it as a bargaining chip, but holding it back until after the budget session is over might inure to their benefit in some way. So that might be one reason why it hasn't come over. But the Senate sent over every single bill that there is that has on the governor's desk, but the House is not sending this bill over for some reason.
That's a very astute observation. Probably has a lot to do with it anyway. By the way, folks, if you sign up at floridafamilyaction.org, you will receive, or you will have received, an action alert having to do with this bill, Veto HB 7013. I've been giving you the phone number and the information. When you hear me talking about it, it's from this action alert. And once again, call the governor, email him. You can call him at 850-717-9337. That's 850-717-9337. You can email him at flgov.com/contact-gov-scott. That's flgov.com/contact-gov-scott. And please ask him to veto HB 7013. That's this adoption bill. It started out with good intentions, but it ended up as a disastrous bill. It needs to be sent back to the drawing board. John, can you stay with us one more segment? You'll have to hold through the top break, though.
Absolutely.
Okay, John Stemberger is going to stay with us. Al has a question for John. If you have a question for John, he'll be happy to take it after the top of the hour at 407-774-8255. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.